Have you ever wondered what really happens after death? This is one of humanity's greatest mysteries, shrouded in uncertainties, fears, and deep beliefs. Today, let's dive into a topic that intrigues and scares: hell. What does the Bible really say about this place? Is there a universal truth about what awaits us on the other side? Leave a like, and let's embark on this journey. Now, let's delve into what the Bible really says about hell. Over the centuries, the scriptures have been the primary source of guidance and fear on this topic. In the New Testament, we find several passages that mention hell, often using terms like Gehenna and lake of fire. One of the most impactful passages is in Matthew 25:46, where Jesus speaks about the final separation between the righteous and the wicked, stating that these will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. The interpretation of this passage, and others like it, has been the subject of intense debate among theologians and Christian scholars. Some believe that hell is a literal place, a realm of eternal suffering where the souls of sinners are punished forever. This view is supported by vivid descriptions in books like Revelation 20:14-15, where hell is presented as the final destination of Satan and those who reject God. On the other hand, some interpret hell in a metaphorical way, seeing it as a representation of complete separation from God, an existence of anguish and remorse outside the divine presence. This perspective is often supported by passages that describe hell as outer darkness, or a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth, suggesting a state of spiritual separation and despair rather than a physical place of torment. Beyond theological interpretations, the Bible also offers clues about the nature of hell through the words of Jesus and the apostles. In Mark 9:43-48, Jesus uses strong imagery to warn about the danger of sin, saying it is better to enter life maimed than to be thrown into hell, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. These words underscore the severity of the spiritual and moral consequences of our actions. Despite the divergences on whether hell is literal or metaphorical, the central message of the scriptures is clear. Hell represents the ultimate consequence of sin and the rejection of God. The understanding of Christian theology about hell and heaven highlights the importance of living a worthy life aligned with the teachings of Christ. Keeping faith, practicing justice, and cultivating love for others are essential to ensure an eternal destiny of peace and joy in the presence of God. Hell, with its torment and eternal separation, is a fate to be avoided at all costs. Therefore, every choice and action in earthly life are crucial in determining our destiny after death. Living righteously and following the path of Christ is the key to achieving salvation and eternal life in heaven. The Christian view of what happens after death is one of the most fascinating and crucial mysteries of faith. According to Christian theology, death is not the end, but a starting point for a new journey. After death, the soul enters a state of full consciousness, facing divine judgment. This judgment is a decisive moment, for it is here that the eternal destiny of the soul is decided, based on the actions and faith manifested during earthly life. The first step on this path, as Christian theology teaches, is the particular judgment. This immediate judgment of the soul occurs right after physical death. In Hebrews 9:27, the Bible states that it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. At that moment, the soul is evaluated concerning its works and its faith in Jesus Christ. Those who followed Christ's teachings and accepted salvation are deemed fit to enter heaven. For the righteous, heaven represents the ultimate reward. The scriptures describe heaven as a place of incomparable peace and joy, where the presence of God is fully and eternally experienced. In Revelation 21:4, we have the promise that God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain. Heaven is a place of perfect communion with God, where the faithful enjoy a glorious existence free from any suffering. On the other hand, for those who rejected God and lived in sin, the destination is hell. In Christian theology, hell is depicted as a place of torment and eternal separation from God. Passages like Matthew 25:41, where Jesus mentions the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels, underline the severity of this fate. Hell is a state of continuous punishment, a dreadful reality for those who chose to turn away from God and his precepts. The final judgment is another vital concept in Christian theology. This judgment happens at the end of times when all the dead will rise and be judged in a universal tribunal. Revelation 20:12 describes that the dead were judged according to their works. This final judgment confirms and makes public the sentence received in the particular judgment, affirming the eternal destiny of souls. When a person reaches heaven, according to Christian theology, they enter a state of indescribable peace and joy. Heaven is often described in the scriptures as a place where God's presence is fully manifest, providing perfect and eternal communion with the Creator. In Revelation 21:3-4, it is revealed that God will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God. And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. This description emphasizes the total absence of suffering and the fullness of happiness that the righteous will experience in the divine presence. In heaven, the faithful will enjoy a glorious and eternal existence. It is a place where the soul finds rest and rewards for its faithfulness and good works performed on earth. Jesus, in various passages, speaks of the kingdom of heaven as a place of blessedness, where many will come from east and west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 8:11. This highlights not only individual bliss, but also communion with other saints and biblical figures, creating a community of love and worship. Besides peace and joy, heaven is also a place of spiritual reward. In 2 Timothy 4:8, Paul speaks of the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to those who have loved his appearing. In heaven, the faithful receive not only the continuous presence of God, but also rewards for having lived lives of faith and obedience. When a person reaches hell, according to Christian theology, they enter a state of eternal torment and complete separation from God. Hell is often described as a place of darkness and incessant suffering. In Matthew 25:41, Jesus speaks of the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. This place is characterized by a fire that never goes out and suffering that never ends, symbolizing the intensity and eternity of the punishment awaiting those who rejected God and lived in sin. In hell, pain and regret are constant. In Luke 16:24, the rich man in torment cries out, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame." This passage illustrates the despair and anguish of those in hell, where physical and emotional suffering is unending. The awareness of the mistakes made in earthly life and the impossibility of changing their fate further intensify the torment. Besides physical suffering, hell represents eternal separation from God. In 2 Thessalonians 1:9, it is written, "They will be punished with everlasting destruction and shut out from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his might." The absence of God's presence is the most terrible aspect of hell. The condemned are deprived of light, love, and divine grace, living in a state of spiritual darkness and eternal despair. This total separation from God is the essence of hell, an existence devoid of hope and redemption.